Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. This is Ralph Phillips. Today we're going to be doing clips from the Week 5 game, the Buccaneers at Saints. Now, this is not X's and O's so much as it is Jimmy's and Joe's. If you'd like, subscribe to our podcast to get a better breakdown audio-wise. These are not highlight plays, and it's not all the plays of the game. However, these plays are in chronological order. Got a lot to get to, so let's get to it. 14:45 in the first quarter. Kappa gets beat by 90 for a quarterback hit. Pressure. A couple plays later, Kappa gets beat by 93. Gets pushed back into Jameis Winston. .58 in the first. Nassib beats 67 for a quarterback hit on Bridgewater. They ended up getting 16 yards on Jared Cook here because Minter didn't get his coverage going, but Nassib does a good job. Almost gets the sack. He gets a hit on him. That was Minter's fault. 10:30 in the first quarter. Watch 34 Edwards come in. He gets blocked and pretty much laid out. He still causes the disturbance and blocks up the hole a bit. Boom. Now we all know Michael Thomas pushed off on one of these plays and it was challenged by Bruce Arians. Everybody agrees that it was a push off, but the refs did not overturn it, or they did not call pass interference even after the challenge. He does the same thing here. It's not as egregious, but if you watch, you'll see 33 gets pushed right before the ball gets thrown. He pushes him on his hip right there, causing some separation. Now, at that point, it may not look like much. And honestly, it's not extremely horrible, but you can see from this version a lot better that he blatantly pushes off right there. See it? Causing Carlton Davis to get separation. That's just bullshit. 6 minutes, 30 seconds in the first quarter. Barrett almost gets to the quarterback. He is within inches. 72 gets beat by Barrett. Barrett comes swinging around. He almost gets that ball. From this angle, you can't really tell as good, but I mean, it was like 6 inches. 5:50 in the first quarter. Barrett beats this guy 64. It's a run to the left by Kamara. Barrett beats this guy and almost gets Kamara. He misses the tackle, though. It's a shame, but he does a good job beating 64. Actually just throws him to the ground. Look at that. Oh, and then almost gets that tackle. Taysom Hill is in at quarterback. He does this every now and then. Bridgewater will go out and Taysom Hill will play quarterback. I think the Saints are trying to get him to get comfortable playing. He's going to be their quarterback of the future. You'll see he ends up catching the ball. This 13 Michael Thomas on Hargreaves. You'll see they do a crossing route right there in the middle of the field, right there. And you can see Taysom Hill is staring down, not Michael Thomas, but the other receiver. It is, I don't know who that is. But he stares that receiver down. And why he didn't throw that, I don't know. Because this guy is wide open. That would have been a touchdown. He instead throws it to Michael Thomas, who ends up picking up, I think it was 16 yards, 18 yards. But if you watch Brendan Hargreaves, he gets fooled by Taysom Hill's eyes. You can see him at the last second realize that Hill's throwing it. Taysom Hill just glances over real quick and throws the ball. And you can see Hargreaves try to step up to do the coverage. This should have been called a false start on 67 for the Saints. If you watch. We'll rewind it. See if we can get it in slow motion. You can see he moves before the ball is snapped. I mean, it's barely before the ball is snapped, but it's there. See it? Michael Thomas scores a touchdown on Hargreaves. You see this, Hargreaves absolutely gets worked. He gets totally spun around. Thomas is wide open. Zip, look at that. That's embarrassing. You can't have that in the NFL. Kappa ends up getting beat by 93. 93 ends up making the tackle on the runner. Got to get Matt Gay's shimmy in. There it is. 67 false starts again. It doesn't get called. You'll see at the end of the play, 94 NASA does the motion for a false start. See? Look, the ball hasn't even left yet. And he's up. But you'll see NASA over here after the play complaining to the refs about the false start. See? This is Dare Ogunbowale tries to run the ball. We got 32 seconds left in the second quarter. This is right before halftime. This is the last play before the half. 74 does not block 56, who comes running in untouched. Instead, he goes and helps double team 93 with 66. Donovan Smith sees 56 coming at the last second, but it's too late. He's already set up to try and block this guy over here. 74 just, I don't know what he was thinking on this one. He just decided not to block this guy. Oof, that hurts. This is the infamous push-off play by Michael Thomas on Vernon Hargreaves, number 28. Just wanted to throw this in there as a comparison to the last push-off play. And you can plainly see this is a push-off. Look at that. How the refs didn't reverse this is a joke. This is a touchdown play scored third quarter. 13:50. It's a play after the push-off play. What you're going to see is Ted Ginn does a crossing route, a deep crossing route with Michael Thomas. Minter drops all the way back. I can't tell if they're playing a cover 3, a Tampa 2, but Minter drops way back. Unfortunately, he doesn't drop back far enough to cover Ted Ginn coming across. Jordan Whitehead ends up going to cover Michael Thomas, leaving Ted Ginn able to come across for the touchdown. Right there you can see Jordan Whitehead covering Michael Thomas. Ted Ginn's getting ready to bolt across. Here is Kevin Minter. Now, the way he ran and got into place, you could tell they told him to go right down to the middle of the hash marks. And Ted Ginn cuts right between them. Don't know whose fault it was. 12:31 in the third quarter. I don't know what happens to Ryan Jensen here, number 66, the center. It looks like he gets his foot caught up on Alex Kappa next to him. 90 gets by and makes a tackle. Alex Kappa broke his arm, fractured his forearm in the second quarter. This is now the third quarter, and you're going to see him take 98 down and pancake him. This is incredible to do in the league in general, but with a broken arm, it's pretty good stuff. Boom. .10:09 third quarter. This is a case of Jameis Winston getting the happy feet. Donovan Smith has a little bit of a difficult time with his guy, and he gets control of him. The guy's never a threat to Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston, for some reason, decides to spin, right there. I have no idea why he did that, and then he decides to scramble. He picks up 5 yards, so it's not that bad, but come on. Alex Kappa, number 60, and Ronald Jones, 27. They both get beat by the big monster, 90, so coming up the middle. He gets pressure on Winston, but Winston scrambles out. There he goes. Zip, zip, 90. Winston scrambles out. That's good call by him. 5:09 of the third quarter. Alex Kappa gets beat by 94, who ends up getting a hit on Jameis Winston. See Carl Nassib shoots right by 67. Nobody ends up blocking him. He's the one that ends up getting pressure, causing Teddy Bridgewater to scramble out of the pocket. Here's something you don't see too often. Big goal Villa de Vea getting pancaked by 67. He had some help, but still, that doesn't happen often. Third quarter, 2 minutes, 22 seconds left. This is 3rd and 2. The score is 24-17, the Saints. Now, we know the golden rule. Mike Evans throws his hand up. You just wing it to him. Keep an eye on Mike Evans. He is this guy. Just keep your eye on him. Jameis Winston ends up getting flushed out of the pocket. Does not see this. There it is. Look, that is most likely a touchdown. A very, very long touchdown. And you can see Jameis is feeling some pressure, but he starts running. Does not see Mike Evans at all. .11:20 left in the fourth quarter. The score is 24-17. This is 3rd and 3. You see Kevin Minter. He's in charge of covering Alvin Kamara. Kamara goes for a swing route. He catches it in the flats. Unfortunately, Minter falls down before he gets to him, going into coverage. Keep an eye on Minter. See, he just fell down there, allowing Kamara to get a good run. 10:31 left in the fourth quarter. This one's just a mess. DeMar Dotson gets beat by this guy. Kappa ends up having to take on 2 guys. Barber comes and helps him. But we have 4 Saints take on these 3 guys. And Jensen ends up double teaming and helping over here. So you got 3 blockers on 2 and then 3 blockers on 4. This is a recipe for disaster. 53 comes running straight up the middle. Jensen goes with the double team and doesn't see 53 coming up the middle. This is just a complete mess on the offensive line. .9:47 in the fourth quarter. The score is 31-17 Saints. This is 3rd and 19. I'm sorry, this is 9:42 in the fourth quarter. DeMar Dotson gets beat by 94. Now, you got to take into consideration that DeMar Dotson, 69, is playing with a hamstring injury. If you watch, he keeps grabbing his leg. He's out now with a hamstring. He ends up leaving this game with a hamstring injury. And Alex Kappa is playing with a broken arm. You can see his arm is wrapped up, his left arm. 94 ends up beating Dotson, causing Winston to scramble. He gets out here, sets his feet a little bit, throws a very ill-advised pass, and it's time to punt. 7:50 left in the fourth quarter. Jameis Winston gets some pressure up the middle, and he decides to scramble out. But before the pressure gets there, he had Mike Evans wide open. He ends up getting sacked here. Winston does. We will look at the sack from the end zone angle. You can see Ali Marpet gets beat. By 90. And then it's just a mess from there on out. 6:44 left in the fourth quarter. This is 2nd and 10. Number 56 ends up sacking Jameis Winston. He runs right over Dare to get this sack. But 93, watch, he grabs hold of Jensen and pulls Jensen out of the way, creating a gap for 54. I'm going to run this in slow motion so we can see it. I'm going to try and we want to keep an eye on this right here. See, he grabs him and yanks him. He's pulling him. I'm sorry, it wasn't 56, it's 96 that comes up through the gap and blows up Dare. But he's pulling Jensen so that 96 has room. And then 96 just blows Dare up, gets the sack. Let's rewind it and watch it in full speed. Again, keep an eye on these two right here. And Jensen throws him to the ground. And Jensen complains to the ref. This is the sixth and final sack on Jameis Winston. 6:05 in the fourth quarter. Josh Wells is now in the game. DeMar Dotson has left with a hamstring injury. Cap is still playing with a broken arm. Wells gets beat by 94. Cameron Jordan, who grabs hold of Winston. Now pay attention after the play is over as he's sacking him. Okay, he's got him in his grips right there. The whistle's blown. The whistle gets blown right there, but he's still, you can see the ref has already blown the whistle, but Cameron Jordan is still tackling Jameis Winston. Well, Winston don't take too kindly to this. Look, Winston reaches out, grabs his face mask, and then uses his face mask to help himself up. Same play. Watch Ali Marpet pancake that guy. 96. Boom. Take it to the ground. Watch Ndamukong Suh just throw 67 to the side and make the tackle on 28. Whew, that's a strong man. 1 minute, 59 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Watch Ndamukong Suh gets blasted by 42 Lane. This is something you rarely see where somebody gets Ndamukong Suh with a hit like this, a good block. It actually makes him woozy, it looks like. Oof, takes him right to the ground. That's a tough one.
This has been the Buccaneers Observer. Don't forget to like and subscribe.